Against the light-colored background, the letters ACB. Below each letter is its corresponding Braille cell. Together for a bright future. 2022 Year in Review. In a moment, below an ACB banner, Dan Spoon at a podium during an ACB convention.
We are now playing the ACB walk song, and let's hear it from the ACB Brenda Dillon Memorial Walk teams. They're coming in the ballroom right now. Everybody stand and give them a big round of applause. Woo!
Eric Bridges.
This is cool. We're in the same room together. I'm not behind a laptop speaking into the ether, hoping that people are laughing or interested or not falling asleep while I'm speaking. This is cool. Well, it's great to be with you all. So a lot has changed, but a lot hasn't. And the dedication of the staff of the American Council of the Blind, the folks that are tasked with implementing and working on the issues that the members and leadership of this organization prioritize, our dedication, our passion has remained through this entire period.
So Judy, tell us a little bit about what got you started in the disability rights movement back in the 1970s. What was really the impetus for you to take this on as a career?
Judy Human.
I had polio, just like you're blind and low vision. I don't think, one is born as an advocate per se, but I think, ACB and many other disability rights organizations really have been formed because of the discrimination that we have experienced and our desire to work on ending discrimination. And also, I think what's very important about organizations like the American Council of the Blind and others is the fact that we are role models for people who have disabilities. Some of them are similar to ours and in many cases not.
Ewan McGregor.
Audio description is near and dear to me for one very special reason. My mum, Carol McGregor. She's an audio describer. Audio description allows people who are blind or visually impaired to enjoy the visual imagery of the same movies that most of us take for granted via a secondary audio track that describes the action on the screen. People who are blind or visually impaired can participate in films and television broadcasts in a very fulfilling way. My mum's been working with audio description for decades, not only in cinema, but also for live theatre. She's empowered the inner visions of countless blind and partially sighted audiences. In particular, we believe that it's important that young visually impaired people be able to go to the cinema with their friends, join in the conversation and know all about the films of the day. She and I both are so supportive of the American Council of the Blind's audio description project and all it does to further the field of audio description in the States and worldwide.
Stevie Wonder.
Good evening, everyone. Our last award tonight speaks to my own heart. 7 years ago, during the 2015 Grammy Awards, I made a very special call to action that we should all work to make sure that everything that's accessible for all people with disabilities. Since the Grammys' first broadcast in 1959, performers have taken the stage year after year, painting a musical tapestry drawn by notes that would capture the rhythmic pulse of generation after generation. Their performances have been amazing spectacles of artistic beauty mixed with bold statements, but until this past year, their sights and sounds fell flat to audience members who have no sight of their own. Tonight's final Barry Award recipient moved music's greatest spectacle forward this year when it filled in that space between the notes with audio description. CBS Paramount has long shown a commitment to inclusive media through captioning and audio description, but they took the extra step this past year with the Grammy Awards. And that step means so much for those of us who know firsthand there's so much more taking place on stage than just the music.
Melody Goodspeed.
The quality of audio description is so incredibly important, and I've seen that elevated, which is really, really exciting for me. It just brings such joy to my heart to be able to feel included, like just to be able to to be able to have those conversations with my friends and family and not feel so alone.
Hello, I'm Carla Hudson, and I'm here to share with you my story about audio description. In the early 1970s, as a blind child, I experienced Sesame Street by listening to the dialogue. But imagine my surprise in the early 2000s when I discovered that Sesame Street had audio description. This was very special to me as a blind mother with sighted children. We were able to experience the costumes, the action, and all that the characters could offer fully. I so appreciate the help that audio description has given my family over the years and the bond that I was able to experience with this special show with my small children.
Clark Rockfull.
Many of our members in the blindness community as a whole have been getting very excited this summer because as a new addition to our solar system and universe exploration has been unveiled, the James Webb Space Telescope. These images are coming to us with some amazing descriptions and alt text that really brings the images to life, not only for people who are blind, but the rest of the population as well. Even sighted people can now understand what exactly am I looking at here.
Claire Blum.
Basically, when I think about writing alt text, what I like to do is set the broad scene. It's like I'm painting a picture all across, left to right, top to bottom. What literally does this scene contain? So I want to paint broad strokes, right? I'm orienting people. And then once I've oriented someone with a brief sentence, 2 sentences, then I can start to go into what are the areas of interest? Why are we releasing this image? What is the scientific discovery? So then I might draw attention to, let's say, the star that's cast off its layers of gas and dust, but pointing out that the star is this tiny white, blob at the center, and then all the layers that, in one case, it looks like a butterfly, and knowing that we can say it looks like a butterfly, not necessarily because people have seen it, but they might have touched it or experienced the shape. So then they can start to build a mental model of what this scene looks like.
So I'm Tom Pay. I'm the founder and CEO of Waymap, is the world's most accurate indoor and outdoor navigation system. Thank you to you guys, the ACB, because you've been in from the beginning of the idea of Waymap. You've helped with the development of the standards, and indeed you've provided volunteers to test it out at the early stages in DC.
Chantel Zuzi.
I would say my personal experience led to my deep desire to become involved with human rights. At my birth, I was denied basic human rights and justice. I was born an albino in a community where albinos are viewed as outcasts. And the only reason I survived was because my parents believed I had the right to live. So I would love to bring justice back to those who are going through different situations and around the world.
Tony Stevens.
And I'm so excited today to have young Hayden Zoller, an actor from Savannah, Georgia, who was in the most recent film, American Underdog. And we at ACB are excited for Hayden, who played the character of Zach in that movie, not because the character was blind, but also too, Hayden himself is a young man who's blind as well. Talk to us a little bit about yourself in Savannah, Georgia, and I think a lot of our audience would love to know too about your vision impairment.
Well, I'm 11 years old and I'm in 4th grade and I'm fully blind.
Mm-hmm.
So I just use Braille and all the things that Tony uses. And I love social studies and science and math.
A logo, ACB in print and braille, American Council of the Blind, together for a bright future.